You wake up mid-scene. A conversation you were having, a place you were running through, a face that felt like someone you've known your whole life. For a few seconds, it's all still there. Then you reach for your phone, and by the time you've unlocked it, most of it is already gone. You tell yourself you'll remember it later. You never do. It feels like a glitch, like your memory failed you overnight. But the real answer is far stranger. Your brain didn't fail to save the dream. It never intended to keep it in the first place. Think about what a dream actually is while it's happening. It's vivid. It's emotional. It often makes no logical sense, and you don't question that at the time. Somewhere behind that experience, your brain is running full scenes, full characters, full physical sensations, and yet almost none of it survives past breakfast. Why would a brain build something that detailed only to throw it away? Most people assume the answer is simple. Dreams are just too strange to hold on to, too random, too fast, too disconnected from anything real. But strangeness alone doesn't erase a memory. You can recall a bizarre, illogical moment from years ago if it happened while you were awake. Something else has to be going on. Something built into the biology of sleep itself. To understand this, you have to look at what's actually happening chemically while you dream. The psychiatrist J. Allen Hobson spent decades studying REM sleep, the stage where most vivid dreaming happens. He found that during REM, the brain's levels of noradrenaline, a chemical closely tied to attention and memory encoding, drop close to zero. Your visual and emotional centers are wide awake, but the chemical signal your brain normally uses to tag an experience as worth keeping is almost entirely switched off. You are, in effect, living through an experience while the save button is unplugged. Hobson's broader research, developed alongside fellow researcher Robert McCarley, described dreaming as the brain's attempt to make sense of internally generated signals during sleep, stitching them into something resembling a story. The images are real. The emotions are real. But the neurochemical conditions needed to file that story away for later were never fully in place. This is the first clue. Dreaming isn't memory loss. It's memory that was never being recorded properly to begin with. But here's where it gets more specific. Not every part of your brain goes quiet during REM. Sleep researcher Robert Stickgold at Harvard has spent years studying how the sleeping brain handles memory, and his work points to something counterintuitive. Sleep is when your brain does some of its most important memory work, sorting the day's experiences, deciding what to strengthen and what to let fade. Dreaming appears to ride along on top of that process, using the same neural material, without being the point of it. Your brain isn't ignoring dreams by accident. It's simply busy doing something else with the same machinery. So is any of the dream ever really recorded? A little. In 2017, neuroscientist Francesca Ciclari and her colleagues used EEG recordings to pinpoint what they called a posterior cortical hot zone, a region toward the back of the brain that activates specifically when a person is dreaming, whether in REM sleep or not. When researchers woke people during moments when this region was active, those people could often report a dream in vivid detail. Wake up during it, and the dream is right there. Wait even a few minutes, and it dissolves. That timing is the whole story. The dream briefly exists in something like short-term memory, a kind of temporary holding space. Without the chemical push needed to transfer it into long-term storage, it simply expires. Not forgotten, never fully saved. Now here's the part that reframes everything. This isn't a flaw. It may be exactly what allows dreaming to happen at all. If your brain treated every dream the way it treats a real memory, you would wake up each morning with your identity blurred into a night of impossible scenarios, flying, dead relatives speaking, entire invented cities. Some researchers suspect the very mechanism that erases your dreams is what protects your sense of a stable, continuous self. The forgetting isn't a malfunction. It's a boundary. It keeps the story your brain tells about last night from bleeding into the story it tells about who you are. Consider how disorienting it already feels on the rare morning a dream does stick. You carry a strange residue of it for hours, a mood you can't explain, a face you can't place anywhere in your waking life. Now imagine that happening every single night for every dream, stacked one on top of another for years. The version of you that exists right now depends on most of that material never making it through. So the next time you wake up mid-scene, chasing the last thread of a dream before it disappears, understand what's actually happening. You're not losing a memory. You never had one to lose. You wake up mid-scene, and for a few seconds before the world resets around you, you're the only one who was ever going to remember it at all.